Alan Jerome, Auto Alert Man, coming at you once again. And I'm coming at you with a couple of ideas to bring deals to the table for the store and for yourself. And I want you got a new month coming up, so I want you to start thinking about it now. That doesn't mean stop doing what you're doing now, but start thinking about how you can get more out right away. I always encourage you to have a great start. A great start is almost always a great finish. You get 10 out right away by the 5th or the 10th of the month, whatever is in pace with your dealership. I don't want you to set your sights on the production level of somebody that's at a 500 a month car store when you're at a 120 cars a month store. Be realistic, but at the same time, don't limit yourself by your realisticness. Always reach for the top branch. So look at the blocks again. Look at the things to the right of the block. Look at those. Can you make those a little easier to read, Mike? So what they're saying here is that there's some opportunities with poor credit. So you can actually do a search for all the 2014s, 15s, maybe 16s that have kind of a high interest rate. They're up past 12%, 18%, 21%. Now, a lot of people don't recover. They're the kind of people that are always going to pay the higher interest rate. But if they're in a good position in that car, there are people that do recover. They do improve. I've seen it. It's like they came in, they bought that car, they got a tough interest rate for one reason or another. But when you look at the track record, they've made every single payment. And I ask them, how you been with your payment? Oh, that's great, good. Yeah, come on in. I don't want to ask enough questions to talk someone out of coming in. I'm not the desk man. It's not my job to filter these people. My job is to get as many fish in the boat as I can, as many appointments coming in as possible. Let the desk decide who can buy a car and who can't. Don't ever think you are that qualified to do that, because you never know when it just might coincide with a step-up program where they come in, they qualify for 10, 11%, and one of the manufacturers is offering a step-up program where they automatically bump you up a full tier or even 2 tiers. All of a sudden, this guy coming with a 10% interest rate and left with 3%, and you're the biggest hero on the block because you invited him in. Remember, that's what we want to do. We want to invite people in to buy a car, to transition from their current vehicle into a new one or a much newer one for about the same payment, often with no or little money down. Everything's possible. So much more is possible than you ever imagined. Remember that. How many times have you been in a tough spot in life and somehow everything just kind of worked out? As a matter of fact, a few times it worked out in your favor more than you could imagine. That's what I'm talking about. We're the miracle makers because we've got the magic wand, and that wand is Auto Alert every time. My money goes that way every single time. Go to the people that are in your service department that didn't buy their car from you. Give them a call, those Conquest customers. I make 60 appointments a month with Conquest customers easily. Go to your customers that are not just a red block. That's the easy sale. The red block, that's the one. Everybody's data mining that one. Everybody in the dealership is always, they're going right there. Look at that, 3,000 opportunities. Let them do that. That's where you want them. You want them out there. You're the skilled technician that's watched the videos, that's done the training through Auto Alert, that realizes that the Flex Alerts can be also a pot of gold. That the in-market people, and then one next to it, the ones that have been engaged at one point or another, they are or were engaged with the dealership. You open that block up and you find some that other salesmen have touched, but they haven't touched them in a month or two. Forget about them. Call those people. Call everyone you possibly can and ask them, hey, it looked like you were real close, but how did the whole deal get derailed? And when you ask people a flat-out question like that out of the blue, a lot of times they'll give you a flat-out answer. Well, my wife decided to hold off. Well, I don't blame you, sir. I would have held off too, or you talk to the wife. Oh, well, then we started looking at something else, and we didn't get back to you, and we ended up not buying a car. Well, what was kind of like the hitch that made you look over the fence to see if there was something else? Well, it didn't have a third row seat. It didn't have this. We weren't sure if we really wanted to buy. Guess what? You've got them in a conversation. And who opened the door for you? Auto Alert. A dealership can spend $10,000 on mailers, can spend $10,000 on emails, and they're all laser targeted to Auto Alert customers that can and will buy. But that was last month. What happened to all those people that did respond but didn't become a deal? Sure, we sold cars because of the mailer. We always do. We sold cars because of the internet, email blast. But what about the customers that didn't receive, that didn't follow through with a purchase? I work varied shifts. There's times when I come in the morning and I work the service drive hard. Now, service appointments are a great way to make car deals using Auto Alert, but not everybody makes an appointment. A lot of dealerships don't even accept appointments. That's why Service Drive is so important, because it laser targets the people that are in the dealership or have dropped off their vehicle to the dealership. A lot of times they're sitting in the waiting room, waiting, drinking that bad coffee. They're eating those old donuts. And you come down there and you go, hey, listen, I can't believe this, but while you were here, I got an alert in my office that you're driving a vehicle that I've been looking for. And they're like, what are you talking about? Well, here's the thing. Are you trying to sell me a car? No, I'm trying to buy a car. Here's the thing, that there's a data program available to me that indicates when someone comes into the dealership that has a vehicle that is a close match to a vehicle I'm currently looking for. And yours looks like a pretty close match. And I was just wondering if maybe we could do an evaluation on your car and move you into a brand new one and keep your payment about the same. No money down. Is that something that you would consider? You'd be surprised how many people stand right up. Yeah, I would be interested. I call them on the phone. I know they're in the service department. I still call them anyway. They're picking up their cell phone, watching the morning news, or they're tied down to The View. And they're so grateful to get out of that service department waiting room. They go, I'll be right over to your office. Where is it? Oh, you just come up the stairs there, first door on the right. Let them come in. If they come to you, you know they're excited. You know they're interested. That's what we want. The car business is the greatest business in the world, because there's nothing more exciting than buying a car. I want you to not only reach out to customers to offer to buy their car, but I want you to be straightforward with them and let them know this is an opportunity to upgrade their situation for about what they're paying now. No money down, or little money down in most cases. You can go in and find these people in different targeted areas. When you go over to the other side of this alert box is right here, and you go into the search, and you see search, and you click on that, and it takes you to a particular vehicle. And then you can put in the miles, and then you can put in the trim level and break that list down. You can even roll over to the other side and click alerts only, or alerts and flicks only. But another great search is mileage, and it's so significant a search, it has its own block. Like, there are people that get into trouble with leases right away. Leases are not the right thing for them. But they didn't know that. The salesman didn't know the situation at the time. and now they're stuck here. They've only had their lease a little over a year, and they're already at 40,000 miles. They're 5,000 miles over their lease. Mr. Salesman, I'm over my lease miles allowed. Don't worry, folks. We got a program for that. I need your truck. Your truck is a close match to a truck we're currently looking for. It's got about the right miles. You've taken care of it in the service department. It's really an advantage to our customers that we buy our vehicles from our customers, because we know that those have been taken care of and we know what kind of use they've had. Most of the cars at the auction are like previous rentals, summer repos. Those aren't so bad. But, have you ever heard the old adage, the only true performance car is a rental car? That's why we really do. We look within our owner base to find great cars for people who can't afford a brand new car. And yours only has a few miles on it. 40,000 miles in today's market, that's nothing on a car. These cars are meant to go 200,000 more miles, every one of them. Every manufacturer right now is building really great cars and trucks. I urge you to get positive, though, and get enthusiastic. You get out and take a walk, get a cup of coffee, go back to the phone and commit yourself to making a couple of phone calls, fill that accountability sheet. When I first started, I've shown the accountability sheet before. Fill that sheet. Do 2 rows, make 10 calls, make 15 calls before you leave, before you go on break, before you go for lunch. Commit yourself to real work. Work is what brings success. Work is what makes money. And when you start getting into the zone, you make those hard calls at first. They're cold, they're tough, they're ugly, and people are hanging up on you, and they're like, don't call me again. I'm trying to reach my service advisor. Click, and you're going to get those. But a lot of people are like, they're thoughtful about the opportunity. They're welcoming the opportunity. Don't worry about what you're not finding, what doesn't work. Never focus on poverty. Always focus on riches. Focus on your check. At the end of the month, your bonus check is $5,000, $6,000. That's what you want. You want something fat. Focus on your job today, like little building blocks. Put that check together. Get over here in the high mileage category and look up all these high mileage vehicles. And there's 2 different kinds of high mileage vehicles. There's the lease ones that they've gone over their miles. Let's get them in, and let's get them into a purchase. Let's flip that into a brand new car and get a purchase. And the payment may go up a little bit more than we want it to, but it's certainly better than paying a $4,000 or $5,000 or even greater $1,000 penalty at the end of the lease. If we can do it now and put you in a vehicle where miles are not the problem, you got to remember that people that have the money to lease are often, and that go over their miles, are the ones that are most likely able to afford to get out of it early. So it's not a scary thing. They know where they're at. They're looking at the odometer every time they get in that car. They've had time. Yeah. So another high mileage vehicle is just people that have had their car 5, 6, 7 years. They're looking at 200,000 miles, and you call them and you say, hey,